Hello and welcome again to this Come to Jesus Daily devotional as we continue in the Gospel of Luke exploring who Jesus is. And today's devotional is entitled When God is Our God, the third portrait we're looking at from Luke 20 and 21. And we began by seeing how when power is our God, we're deaf to Jesus. And then we saw when pride is our God, we cannot fully accept Jesus as Lord. But today we see when God is our God, the effects that has on us. And I trust that we all want that. We've all got pride, we've all got desires for power, but may these be subsumed increasingly. May we be sanctified so that we do truly want God as our God. And we're looking at Luke 21 verses 1 to 4. And we're looking at the third of these portraits. We've seen these religious leaders seeking power and pride, but today we're looking at the widow's offering and how she is presented. Surprisingly, maybe, she's presented as a hero of faith and so often like Jesus, the unusual people, like Zacchaeus, the unusual people, washing Jesus' feet with perfume in your hair. The unusual people are presented as the heroes of faith, the prodigal son coming home. But the older brother who never went away is presented as the villain, really. And we're seeing this today. And we see firstly that true worship gives everything to God. So Luke 21 verses 1 to 2, as Jesus looked up, he saw the rich putting their gifts into the temple treasury. He also saw the poor widow put in 2 small copper coins. Now, Jesus draws our attention to the wealthy and how they're giving large amounts. But surprisingly, he then draws our attention to this widow who's given these 2 small copper coins. And he's actually saying this is a greater offering, greater worship, greater devotion than the greater gift. Such a challenge, isn't it, to us? What do we esteem as worship? What does Jesus esteem in us as worship? Even the small things, right? If they're done sacrificially and in faith, that's great worship. We mustn't belittle ourselves, and we mustn't also belittle others as well, right? Because I know we too often sort of look at the big things and the big gestures, don't we? And they, of course, can be worship, but they can also not be worship. And he talks about these 2 small copper coins, or 2 leptons, each worth about 1/10 of 1 penny. It's not much, is it? Enough to buy about a handful of flour. And it's the smallest coin in circulation at that time. To most, this would seem insignificant, but to Jesus, it's a great gift. Now, why is it great? It's great because her giving was inspired by true love and faith. It was sacrificial because it was in proportion to her means. In proportion to what she had, it was immense. But the wealthy, in proportion to what they had, it was tiny. And this is why Murray Harris writes, God assesses the value of all monetary gifts, not in terms of the actual amount given, but by comparing what is given with the total financial resources of the giver. It's about according to means. Are we giving sacrificially, which requires faith, which requires love? You see, her gift required faith and love. It was all she had to live on for that day. She gives this away, I've got nothing. So she's trusting God to provide, isn't she? She's loving God so much and trusting him so much, I'm giving everything. In proportion to her means, it was great. And may we likewise follow her example of great faith, great devotion. True devotion gives from the heart. Luke 21, 3 to 4. Truly I tell you, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all the others. All these people gave their gifts out of their wealth, But she, out of her poverty, put in all she had to live on. Jesus redefines generosity. It's not about how much we give, but how much trust and faith and love and devotion are motivating that gift. What's behind that gift? What's the motive behind that gift? What's the motive behind our use of the things God has given us? If we've got much, that should be shown in how much we're giving, whether that's time, talents, treasures, whatever we've got. If we've got much, it should be reflected in sacrificial use of those things. Likewise, if we've got little, it should be reflected in sacrificial use of those things. None of us get out of it. We've all got a part to play. And we should all do it in such a way, like this woman, that is of great value to Jesus. So the challenge to us today is, when our status is God, you see, when status is our God, like it was for these religious leaders, big and public things matter. Doing big and public showy things matter. But when God is God, small and hidden things matter. If God is our God, the small and hidden things matter to us. Our words, our use of money, our use of time, our small prayers, big prayers, every aspect of life. The small things matter. The hidden things and secret things matter to us when God is our God. So I trust that over these last devotionals, we've considered the dangers of having pride, the dangers of having power, the dangers of self-exaltation. And we're all being sucked into that, aren't we? To be attractive, to look attractive, to be esteemed, to have all the status symbols, to waste our lives. But when God is God, like this woman, not only the big things, but the small things matter. God bless you.